Just as various religious leaders claimed that God was punishing America for its sinfulness in the wake of Hurricane Katrina, a leader with the Christian People's Alliance, Sid Cordell, was recently asked about UKIP counselor David Sylvester's recent expulsion from the party for saying that gay marriage was responsible for flooding in England. All Christians believe that God does and can do things with nature, Cordell said. A lot of Christians believe that God is angry over gay marriage, and God can actually show that anger. The People's Christian Alliance, which has questioned the validity of elections in certain parts of the country, is fielding candidates in London and parts of England to the east and southeast. The Alliance, which began offering its own candidates in 2000, is seen as an alternative to David Cameron's Conservative Party, which Cordell said is not seeking to enact Christian policies in its decision-making. There's an enormous number of Christians who have left the Conservative Party over the issue of same-sex marriage. Sadly, too many of them have gone to UKIP, Cordell said. But I think they're beginning to find UKIP doesn't provide a natural home for Christians. Cordell said he thought it was possible that God could be angry about England's policy on gay marriage, adding, "I would certainly agree with it. It is possible." In a recently released 15-minute video, Abu Bakr Sheku, the leader of the Boko Haram militant Islamic group, issued a war decree against Christians in Nigeria following the abduction of 300 mostly Christian schoolgirls that has shocked the international community. Sending a fervent message that the tragedy was not carried out as a violent rebuke against the education of women, but as an action against Christianity itself, Abu Bakr Sheku drew a comparison between the policies of George W. Bush in the Middle East and his own crusade against rival religions. Here is what Bush once said, and we will repeat it here, explained Sheku. He said that all the fights going on in Iraq and Afghanistan are a Christian war, a crusade. This is a known issue, and that they will crush Afghanistan. Today, I will say on my own, we know that it is happening in this world. It is a jihad war against Christianity and Christians. It is a war against Western education, democracy, and Constitution. Wearing a turban, a bulletproof vest, and sitting in front of two AK-47s, he said his statements were intended as a response to Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan and the Christian Association of Nigeria. Answering international criticisms the group has received for the abductions, Sheku said this was just the beginning. "We have not started," he explained. "Next time we are going inside Abuja. We are going to the refinery town and the town of Christians. Do you know me? I have no problem with President Jonathan. This is what I know in the Quran. This is a war against Christians and democracy and their constitution. Allah says we should finish them when we get them." He also spurned civil rights groups for supporting homosexuality. "And are you saying that you are advocates of human rights?" Sheku said. "Homosexual people like you, promoters of same-sex marriage. Animals know more rights than them. Even sheep doesn't sleep with sheep. But you keep a woman and a woman as a husband and wife." Sally Majdi, a member of the Christian minority population in Egypt, previously thought about moving to Australia after prolonged hostility against Christianity within the nation. But with frontrunner al-Sisi expected to win the upcoming election this month, Majdi is resigned to stay. Whether the new president will be Abdul Fattah el-Sisi or Hamdeen Sabahai, I think Christians feel that Egypt has become their homeland again, she said about the two Muslim contenders in the election. Both believe that Egypt should be a country for all Egyptians without discrimination, she added. Muslims make up about 85% of the population in Egypt, while the nation is about 10% Christian. During the reign of Mohammed Mursi, who was ousted from power last summer, Christians reported attacks on churches and on their personal property. Although al-Sisi is a Muslim, Majdi has endorsed the former army chief over his challenger Hamdeen Sabahai. He is the most capable of ending the chaos in Egypt and ensuring equality among all Egyptians, Majdi said, adding that al-Sisi is a strong statesman who can efficiently manage the economy and restore Egypt to its deserved status in the world. Al-Sisi has promised to bring stability to the nation that has been in political and social turmoil for more than 3 years. According to a report from Gulf News, some Christians do support Sabahai, who is a more liberal candidate who placed third in the 2012 election, while opponents of al-Sisi argue that his election will signal the return of Mubarak-era autocracy. Besides his firm belief in equality and social justice, Sabahai is the biggest guarantee that the Mubarak regime will not return to power in one way or another, Munir Najib, a Christian student, said. Even before he becomes a president, al-Sisi is surrounded by figures from the Mubarak regime.